Hey, what is up, everybody? It's JediRalts here, and this is going to be a bit more of an unscripted, more serious video than I've put out in a while, actually. Speaking of that, you probably noticed that I haven't really been putting out videos in a while. It's been kind of sparse on my channel. Recently, I haven't put up like an amiibo tournament in a month, which I'll get to that. But yeah, this is going to be more along the tone of the last serious video I did, the Why I Do YouTube video. I'm just going to explain some things about why uploads have not been consistent or happening at all, and what to expect going forward. So yeah, haven't really been uploading recently. The good news is I do have all of the amiibo tournament finished. I have it all recorded. It's all on my hard drive. It's all ready to be put in, edited together, exported, and uploaded. I mean, it's a quick process, admittedly, and maybe some of it's on me, but I guess I haven't really had the motivation recently to upload, to work on my hobbies, on things that interest me, things that I like doing. I haven't had the motivation to really do that or do anything recently. I'll wake up and it'll be like, well, I could, eat breakfast, watch Good Mythical Morning, do whatever I do in the morning, if I don't have like a class or don't have work, and I'll just never end up getting around to it. I'll just kind of end up going about doing other things, parts of other things, and I don't know, I guess it just kind of gets pushed aside. And I don't know exactly when I lost motivation to do all these things. I like uploading videos, I like recording videos, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, like, I've been wanting to record the new Lego Star Wars game. Like, my brother got it for his birthday in July, and I was like, I want to play it, but I want to record it. I want to record my first playthrough and put that up, because it's more interesting to record the first playthrough when you have no idea what to expect. It's more real. The reactions are more real. It's not like, oh, I know what's going to happen, and I kind of have to act surprised or act excited when things happen. So I want to do that, and I haven't gotten around to it. I have not found the time to I have not played that game yet. It's been months, and I haven't touched it. There's also games I've got on Steam that I've wanted to play, and I just haven't. I've wanted to play them, but I don't know, I just never got around to it. And I'm not sure exactly how to put it. There could be a lot of things that are affecting my situation right now. I would categorize it as a form of depression that I haven't found a reason in my mind to be like, I want to do this, and it's like, why do I want to do this? What's going to come of it? What is it going to do for me in the long run? And then parts of my brain are like, well, nothing. Like, is anyone going to give a shit? Are people going to watch it? And you got to spend however many hours recording this footage, put your heart into the narration, go and edit it, spend all that time editing it together, put it up, and get 10 views. And part of me has accepted that. Part of me is like, well, no, you never know what's going to happen. I like to do this for fun, and I've said before that as long as people are watching, no matter how few, I will continue to do it. I used to just make videos and stuff. I used to do stop motion, and I would make them just for my friends. I would make videos just to show my friends and family. 20, 25 people, if that. So the idea for me of making videos that only a few people see, if I consistently get 15 views on a video, that's 15 people out there who, against all odds, as far as I'm concerned, actually give a shit about what I'm doing. And so, I guess that's sort of a way to categorize it. And also, I've mentioned before that school has put a damper on things. Work has cut into my schedule as well, working different hours since I have a new job. And I guess, for the longest time, I knew what I wanted to do, and I never questioned what I wanted to do with my life. I had decided, sometime in high school, sophomore year probably, that I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to do animation. I thought video game design, and I decided I had to pick between video game design and animation, and I decided animation is a wider field. Game design limits you to just that, game design. But I could animate for TV, for movies, for games, for the internet. Animation has a wider use. There's more opportunities, and that was another reason. Another big reason was the fact that I would always, when I was younger, I'd always draw things and draw characters with my friends and stuff, and it would be like, well, I want to be able to bring these characters to life, and that's something I wanted to do. And the first 2 years at college, I never questioned that. I was like, I'm on track. I'm doing the classes. I'm doing what I need to do to be an animator, and I'm pushing forward. And I didn't really question it. I heard stories about people who were like, oh, they changed majors, and I never thought like that was going to be something that I would do. I had never understood why someone would spend 3 years of their life working towards something and decide after 3 years that's not what they wanted to do and hit the reset button. All that time, all that money, all that effort, essentially wasted, in my mind. And it wasn't until this semester started that it began to dawn on me that I could understand where some of these people were coming from. And I don't know. Like I said, this is an unscripted, so I'm just kind of talking off my head. So I'm taking three technically classes that are part of the animation game art course at my college, but two in particular have kind of impacted me the most. The first is our 3D modeling and rendering in Maya class, and that class has caused an issue that a lot of the artistic classes have put on me, and that's kind of a feeling of inferiority, I guess, so if that's the word right. Like, I took an Art 1 drawing class 2 years ago, and I was always just off-put by the people who were just so good. It was like, this is an Art 1, this is an intro-level drawing class, and there are people in here who I swear had 3 years of classes and drawing classes and whatever, and just decided to take this class to show off how good they were. I bet there was one person in there who did that, but I wasn't sure. I don't know. And then last year, my basic animation class, there were people who were just super proficient with, the things they were doing. They could use the drawing tablets and draw these beautiful characters and everything, and they were just, really good. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, what is this? These are the people who are going into the same field that I'm going into. They're going to be, we're in the same class, so automatically they're a level ahead of me. If someone's looking at my work versus their work, who do you think they're going to pick? They're going to pick their work. And I know it's kind of premature to decide that when I'm not even finished with my degree plan, but I guess I just always felt inferior to the other people. And it was like, I mean, like with the drawing pads, it's like I never even had an opportunity. There's people who probably have all this experience, and I'm coming in with zero experience. A lot of these classes, I'm poor. I don't have the money to buy all these things. So I'm going into a lot of these classes with little to no experience with the hardware and the software that we're using. In my 3D modeling and rendering class right now, we get a student access to Autodesk Maya for 3 years. And it's the first time I've ever touched the program. I've never used a 3D modeling program before, never had one. You know, I can't afford to buy one. And our first assignment, he gave it to us the first class, and it was due the third class. And it was just model a robot. And so by the time I started working on it, I gave myself an extra time. I had 2 classes of experience, plus a little time goofing with the program outside of class. I modeled like a really rudimentary model of the Starship Enterprise. And I designed, I modeled some tank or something like that I designed. I'd drawn some sketches of it based on some older sketches that I had from back in high school, from some story that I had, some story universe I designed, and I thought it turned out okay. You know, it's, you know, I don't know how to texture map yet, so it looked pretty simplistic, but I got the idea. It looked like I had anticipated it looking. I knew what it was, and I could explain what it was and what the purpose was and why it was designed this way. And I get to class, and I'm feeling, you know, like pretty nice about this, like, you know, kind of curious to see what other people did, but this is what I did. And I look over, and there's some other dude modeling the Iron Freaking Giant, and I'm like, that's not fair. What the hell? I don't know if this guy's had experience with this project before, but I'm sitting here 3 weeks of experience in this program in a intro to 3D modeling class, and there's people who are already modeling years ahead of me. And it's like the first thing I wanted to model when I said model a robot is I wanted to model a 1980s Battlestar Galactica Cylon. And I stepped back and I was like, let's go simple. Let's go something simpler to understand the basics. That's what I did with my basic animation class. If you watch the animation I put up, that hang in there Kazumi animation, that was what I put in for my basic animation class. And I decided to go simple with the characters so that I could learn the basics of rigging and moving characters around. So the next time I want to draw something and use something a little more complicated, I would be able to do it. I would understand the basics. Something my dad had always taught me back when we were going to the gym together was, it's like, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, back when I was like a super weakling, not like I'm not that now, but it was like, you don't have to worry about not having a ton of weight when you're bench pressing. You know, if you're only able to do the, you know, let's only work with the bar to get your techniques down. And once you have the technique down, then you can start adding weight. So I kind of adapted that philosophy of, it's like, okay, I have to get the technique of how to rig and animate first. Then let's add more then let's make it more complicated. But let's go simple first. And I don't know. I always got this inferiority feeling, like all these people are better than me. And another problem that I experienced in this class was that for the longest time, middle school, high school, first 2 years of college, a lot of things, when I did them, I've always had this innate ability to just understand things really quickly. A lot of things clicked. You know, when I'm in a history class or I'm in, you know, some other classes, the only time things never really clicked was in math class. So I always got frustrated in math. And I'm feeling that frustration again in this 3D modeling class because, you know, in the basic animation class, the storyboarding classes, the other classes we're working with Adobe, everything clicked. But this class, it's not clicking. Like, I'm used to it clicking. I'm used to being someone who people could rely on when it's like, oh, ask somebody else in the class for help. And a lot of people would turn to me because I was always one of the smart guys who would who could understand it quicker than us, you know, than a lot of other people could understand it. And I'm not getting that now. And it's frustrating that I expect myself to be able to understand and comprehend this and process it. And I'm not as fast as I'm used to. It's not sinking in immediately or quickly. It's frustrating me. And yeah. And then, an entirely other tangent, there's the class that I never thought would break me, but is beginning to break me, and that's my history of animation class. And it's not so much the class that is breaking me as it is the professor that's breaking me. And I have never had a bad professor. Every semester I go in, and I assume a lot of college students do the same thing, where you go in and it's like, oh, please please let me like my professors. Please don't let them be assholes or boring or anything. Come on, let me have some chill professors this semester. I gotta do that every semester. I'm like, let me have some chill professors. I want some chill professors. And every semester it worked for me. I've liked the professors I've had. I haven't before had a professor that was like, oh, this guy. Sort of some of them may have been, a bit more dull than others, but for the most part, they've all been fine. They've all been pretty calm. And then there's this guy. I don't want to name names, but this guy is a whole different category. And he thinks he's some kind of damn super genius. He thinks he is the best, and that's one thing that gets on my nerve. He's like, oh, there's like a system for ranking, and for animators, and there's like a 1 to 10, and like the best of the best, those guys are 10s, and I'm like an 8, and y'all are like 2s, because you're students, so you automatically suck. That's his words, by the way. I don't know if it's... He claims to have a psychology degree as well. He brags about his accolades every fucking 5 minutes. But he claims to have a psychology degree, and he's like, yeah, I have an assumption that an amount of you in here suffer from depression. And then he follows it up with just tirades of negative statements. I'm not one to get offended by things, but I've already got little to no self-esteem. I'm already dealing with lack of motivation and depression. I don't need you to come in and just be like, hey, you suck. And you're always gonna suck. It's either you suck or you're a Disney fucking animator. That's pretty much the two tangents he's laid out. It's like, you either suck and should give up, or you're working for Disney. There's nothing in between. And it's like, we had to do concept sketches. 10 sketches from real life, and I'm not much for drawing real life. I can draw animation, stuff like that. That's what I want to do. I want to draw fictional characters. I don't really get much practice drawing real people, but I try my damn hardest. And I'll tell you to your face, it's like, oh yeah, it looks okay. That's fine. I see you're trying. And then after everyone's done, it's like, alright, most of y'all suck. It was just, most of it was just garbage. And it's like, thanks, I know who you're talking about. And he gets this big head, like assuming, because we're students, that we don't understand what quality work is, and we only care about getting a grade. Well, look, here's the thing. I have always turned in what I assumed to be quality work. When I turned in my project for my basic animation class, I truly believed I wasn't going in like, oh man, I'm so cool about getting an A. Like, a lot of classes make it clear, if you do the work, you gotta pass this class. I was in a gifted and talented program. Getting an A didn't equate to doing every step on the paper that they listed out. If you wanted an A, you had to turn in some really damn good quality work. If you did everything you were asked to do, you would get a C. And when he turns around and says, oh, because you're students, all you care about is getting grades, you don't care about quality work, I've always thought I turned in quality work. I always try my damn hardest to turn the best work based on what I know and what I've learned. He also assumes that we don't know how to research things, and he's got this whole, like, tell me I'm wrong, looking you straight in the eye. And it's like, I'd love to tell you you're wrong, but then you're going to tear into me, and I have no self-esteem, so I don't know what you're going to tear into. I have no way to retaliate after that. The only way I can retaliate is in my head, and when I'm in my car driving home, and it's like, I could have said these things to you. Could have been like, I don't know what I would say. I could have been like, oh, yeah, you are wrong, because I do know how to research, and I do think I turned in quality work, and you know what? I don't like your goddamn attitude. You suck, and I hate you. But he's prepared for every witty comment that you got. And it frustrates me. It frustrates me. And he's the only person who teaches that class. And, and part of that has driven into my lack of motivation. So I'll go home. And I have a script. I've already recorded everything, and I've already modeled the characters for my first animation that I want to do in like a little thing for the internet, for my channel, which is like just something along the lines of Domix or Swoozy, guys like that who animate stories from their life. I kind of want to do something like that. practice animating, tell funny stories. And in the back of my mind, I just get the "you suck. Your work sucks." And tears me down. He tells you, like, "Oh, you want to be an animator. How many hours did you spend last week animating?" Well, let's see. I had to do class 4 days a week. I had to work 5 days a week, including 8 hours in the middle of damn Saturday. Okay? I've also got obligations to my family. I would say obligations to my friends, but none of them even live here anymore. I have no social life. I have no one to talk to about my depression. I've gone to some, what people would consider possibly embarrassing means to find somebody to talk to about my lack of self-esteem, even if the somebody I talk to doesn't have a capability of replying. And I honestly feel like I have no one to talk to about that. I can't talk to my friends, because aside from one or two, most of them probably couldn't care less. I can't talk to my family because they don't understand. So, I guess that's one of the reasons I decided to make this video, is because I wanted to explain where I was coming from. I wanted to explain the state of mind that I'm in right now, that I don't have I don't have the motivation, and I want to find a reason to continue doing the things I love. I want to find a reason to keep moving forward. Because right now, I can't see the reason. Right now, I can't find the motivation. I can't find the concrete, here's why you need to keep moving forward. Here's why you need to keep doing this. Here's why you need to get up and make that video and animate, draw those characters. I personally don't know anymore. Like I said, I never questioned for the longest time what I'm going to do with my life and with my future until now. And now I question it every day I wake up. And every day I go to school. And every day I go to work. And every night I go to sleep. I question what I'm going to do with my life and how my future is going to unfold. And yeah, I want so badly to get out of this funk, but I can't find the way out. I can't. I'm just kind of stuck in a hole with no one to talk to, no one to pull me out of the funk, pick me up, pat me on the back, and be like, "Hey, we're gonna keep going forward." I've always felt like the guy who did that. I always wanted to be the guy who did that. I always was the guy who did that. Someone's having a hard time. I always was the guy who was like, "Hey, you get through this, man. Don't worry." And now it's ironic that I need someone exactly like that, and I can't pick myself up. So, thank you guys for listening to this rant, this tirade. Like I said, I really do want to get into this. I'm going to try my hardest to find the motivation to get out there and do these projects. And I would welcome and love any support you can give, any advice, anything you could give on my videos, my upcoming projects, the stuff I upload. Just any support at all would be amazing. I mean, the fact that I'm almost at 100 subscribers, that 100 people in this world give a shit enough about what I'm doing to want to know when I'm doing more of it is amazing to me, considering the fact that that's more than I can say for my immediate social circle, because that doesn't exist. So, thank you to anyone who watches this video for that, and I will certainly hope that I can get back into the flow of making these videos and entertaining you guys, because like I've said before, that's what I want to do with my life, and I hope that doesn't change anytime soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm JediRalts, and I promise I will see you guys next time.